Alrighty. Holy. That was Blue Monday, Booker. What do you think?
Oh, it was very blue. It was very blue.
So blue. So blue. Indeed. Alright, let me just turn my light off because that light is killing me. Oop.
I'm going to do that in a minute. I just remembered I got buttons here and I want to know.
Okay. Book Pop, what are you doing? Put it back! You don't have the pop for this! Booker! Yeah, what are you doing? Stop
I'm
it!
changing things.
After
I'm changing things on Frankie's stream.
Stop it! Stop it!
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I ruin it? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Look, Marine's still in chat. He's like, Marine Pov!
Oh shit. Well,
Oh, I'm sorry.
that we'll definitely make a video about that. How you can sort of control someone else's OBS through chat commands. Something quite interesting called a WebSocket, and yeah, it's a whole video. But for us, you can imagine it's really, really useful. Booker can sort of like change my scenes without me. Like I might be in the middle of a match or doing something, talking, and he's like, okay, I can do that. And yeah, he can program it into his stream deck as well, so you can just press a button just like I would on mine, and bam, scene change. Yay! Don't do it anymore.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. Oh, that's better. I love this moment when I get to sit in the dark. Oh no, I'm just breaking stuff now.
Yes,
Hang
you
on.
are.
I've done that several times today, right? Oh, let's get rid of the beanie. Oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna lean back in my chair a little bit. Bring my mic in a little bit closer. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Put my feet
There
up.
we go, boys and girls. We're down. We're down. So, Monday, the Blue Monday, 20th of January. Oh,
Yeah.
What a day.
Yeah.
Got a busy week this week. Got to do some RL stuff.
Okay.
What you got planned? Anything good?
Oh shit! I gotta disappear on Friday. I'm out all day. I gotta go sort my passport to Madrid.
You as well.
Yeah, this one has to be in Madrid, and I just checked, and all the trains back. So that's supposed to be at like at 12:30 in the morning. So
Yep.
I'm guessing around I'll be done by about 2 p.m. maybe 3. So I was thinking, oh, I'll catch like the 5:30 train back. Yeah, all the trains are booked full, and the first one that's available leaves at about 8:30 and gets here at about quarter to midnight. So I'm like,
That's a whole day gone then.
yeah, I'm like, oh, come on, man. But yeah, I'm not really looking forward to that. But hey, the other option is sleeping there on Friday and then coming back Saturday morning, but I don't want to do that because then we've got the stream in the afternoon and just don't want to, like, yeah.
So,
Holy crap.
do you have plans for the stream on Saturday?
I do have, like, at the beginning of the month when I planned, I do have three topics, which I briefly mentioned to you. I don't want to give them away, but I think they're related. I think they're quite useful and they'll give a lot to speak of. And considering last Monday we had a little bit of a test with some of them, and the guys reacted really well. If they're there, they'll probably enjoy it. And I was a bit surprised because, you know, we to be honest, we haven't really done a just chatting stream like 80% of the time in the category just chatting, right? We've had like a little section in the beginning, half hour, an hour at most, and we've always swapped to whatever game we're playing. But today, I'm not sure. I don't know. I mean, it's not like we're getting a lot of viewers or a lot of followers from there, but I think the type of audience is totally different from the people that lurk in games. So I am hopeful that, you know, just like the last Saturday when we did D&D and we were in the Dungeons and Dragons section, a lot of new people came in. In fact, some of the people just followed straight away without even us starting.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be like that with the board games as well. I think there's
that would be nice because I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I think there's a whole other audience for that, and I'm really eager and excited to sort of explore that category and just be there. But the coolest thing is that we're having fun. We're not really keeping an eye on, oh, we're getting followers, we're getting people. No, we're just having fun as a group, and I think that's really important. And
yeah, we get to sort of like kind of forget that we're streaming.
Exactly.
Which is, in a weird way, I know streaming's cool, but it's nice to not have to think about the stream.
Yes, like your focus.
It just does itself. You know?
Yeah. I mean, you keep an eye on the chat.
I'm too dark right now because the guys can't see anything on mine, so I'm gonna turn that back on.
There you go.
Just a little bit.
But yeah,
sit back in my chair.
This is one thing I wanted to talk about today, and that is, ever since we've started sort of this season, like ever since we finished 2019 and we sort of, decided to relaunch the whole thing to cater to YouTube and change the streams around and stuff. I've like discovered that not once, like I literally during the Christmas break, I sat here on this PC, which is my streaming gaming PC, which is kitted out to be like the FPS computer, so to speak, because it's got the high refresh rate monitor, it's got the stuff for it. I sat here and I downloaded Battlefield 5, Apex Legends, Rainbow Six Siege.
What in like prep for the new season?
No. Just for me to play on my own.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was sitting here and I'm like, fuck it, I want to try these games and see if I can get the feel for them and stuff. I haven't touched them. Haven't touched any of them since we finished 2019 streaming. And
Wow.
Overwatch today, I thought I'd go in there and update it, but you know why I did it? Because I dropped our encoder for the D&D stream. I dropped it down to slower. No, that was the day after, because I was testing with the whole resolution thing, because we had problems. You remember we streamed at 900p?
Yeah.
So we had like Ridiusu, which is one of our regulars that doesn't have very good internet. He was saying that he kept buffering for him, and I felt really bad because I'm like, technically we're pushing out the same bitrate, but just because it's more resolution, why does it buffer if it's the same bitrate?
Exactly.
That's what doesn't make sense to me. So I was testing, and I thought, I wanted to look if Ridiusu was online, if he could help me, but he wasn't. But Set was, which is one of the member of our community that's recently joined that also happens to suffer from bad internet right now. So I asked him, and he was more than willing to help. So I was continuously, stream at 900p, 30 FPS, reduce the bitrate to as far down as I can go. And basically he had buffering even at 720.
The whole time. Yeah.
So he's like, I'm used to this. If you have bad internet, this is what you do. And if you don't get transcoding, well, you just live with it. So I was it was inconclusive, but what I found was that I could push down slower on my encoder preset and stream on slower without any,
and then drop the bitrate a little.
Yeah, I could still. I think I was managing like 3.5K for 720p, and that was like pretty good. But then I thought, okay, maybe. So today, because I remembered I had it on slower, I thought, just in case we play a game that's fast, I want to test to see if I can handle it on slower. So I fired up Overwatch. I got it updated to do a little test, like at 5 p.m. just before we went live. And I did my little test, and the encoder overloaded, because that's what happens. No, it doesn't overload because your CPU is 100%. In fact, I was barely getting at 50%. But I noticed that there was one core that maxed out, and I'm guessing that the encoder sort of has one core reserved to sort of tell the other cores what to do. And if that one gets overloaded, it's game over. It doesn't matter if you have 64 cores or 128 cores, it doesn't matter. If there's that one core that's like the control core and it gets maxed, it's not going to do it. So yeah, that's basically what I found out today, and that's why
It's kind of interesting though, because this is like, we're learning this as we go.
Yes, like right now, I admit I have no idea why 1080p would buffer for someone if it's being pushed out at 5 megabit, and 720p pushed out at 5 megabit doesn't buffer.
I don't know, beats me.
Me too. I have no idea why. Yep, that's one more thing to learn, I guess. And if someone can enlighten us in the comments, that would be amazing, because that would save us a hell of a lot of trouble. But yeah, so yeah, I was that's what I wanted to get to. Like, I've had all this time, and I have not touched an FPS game. Like, I think I played a little bit of Battlefield 5, but one of the single player campaigns, where you got the story and stuff. And yeah, it's like, I mean, for me, especially games like Overwatch, I've always played it when there were other people playing it. Like, I've always played it with you at the beginning, and if you weren't playing, I would usually not play it unless it was like you taught me to, like, okay, just go in a training room and shoot Annas in the head or stuff like that. If it wasn't something like that, but just go on my own, I'd always find that I did try it, but no, it just wasn't something I really enjoyed. And if I ever did it,
That's fair enough.
It was like a grind. Like, I have to do this to get better so that when we play together, I'm better. So it was sort of like something that you don't like to do, but you do it because there might be a reward at the end of it if you suffer through it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's like, I don't know. I kind of liked Rainbow Six Siege when we played it. I liked the feel of it. I liked the pacing of it.
It was difficult, but yeah,
It was.
I would love to get back
Yeah.
in, like, to actually play in that.
Yeah, it's a game that, hey, if we'd played back in the day, maybe I would have gotten into it, you know? But now it's like,
Absolutely.
I just, because I have so many things going on. Like, right now, I have so many creative outlets right now. Like, there's the D&D, right? There's the streams we're doing, the board games, the streaming, the YouTube. On top of that, I got other stuff that I want to, like, really get back into, which I haven't really had much time for. What some of that stuff is like getting back to anime, which I've sort of really abandoned. Sitting down and watching shows that I've always wanted to watch, you know, that sort of stuff. And other personal projects that I like to sort of get back into. I really want to find time this year, and that is partly why I was so adamant on Tuesday and Friday off. Like, I don't want to do anything. The first week,
that's been a good thing so far.
yeah, the first week was perfect. The second week, which was last week, wasn't that good because I think Friday I used to get the D&D ready for the next day.
Yeah.
So that was kind of
it's gonna take some getting used to.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, learning to switch off.
yeah,
Thinking of this as work
exactly.
to some extent, and just like, okay, I'm just gonna switch off now. This is my day
Yeah.
off. You know,
And-
you don't go into work on your day off,
No.
but you organize a time on the days that you're doing it better, and that's just gonna take us time.
Exactly. So what I'm finding that helps in that regard right now is that the days I have off, I try to plan an activity that takes me out of the house and out of the room at least. Like, I went walking, I went hiking one of the days. Obviously right now this
Crap,
whole
you're
Yeah.
planning on going out.
yeah, it's to take me away from like the computers, because if I'm here, I know that I will be unavoidably drawn to the creative stuff. I will sit down
Yeah.
and try to do stuff for D&D. I will sit down and try to work on like video editing. But I'm like, fuck, man, I shouldn't be doing this because, you know, it's my day off. So if I force myself to go out, like, you know, it could be walking, it could be like a couple hours out after I get back from work, it makes me switch off. So that when I come back, I'm a bit more tired and I'm like, okay, yeah, it's time to chill. Which is something I'm really trying to do. But as you say, it's going to take time to adapt, but I'd like to get to that point because, as we know, balance is the key to everything that we're doing. Every time we've lost that balance, it's resulted in something bad down the line. Either we get burnt out, we don't enjoy what we're doing, and that's something that I really don't want to do. This 2020, my main objective, apart from our main goals, which is, you know, to grow our community and stuff, is to really enjoy what I'm doing. And thus far, I'm getting that. Like the D&D, I'm overjoyed that we're actually doing it. The board games was so amazing, and I see so much potential.
It's been so much fun this year.
Exactly.
Already. We're only 20 days in, and I don't know. I feel good about this year, and I'm kind of at that stage where I'm like, I'm not bothered about, you know, viewer numbers and stuff like that right now, because people, if they're going to enjoy our content, they're just going to enjoy it. They're going to enjoy it with us because we're enjoying it.
Exactly.
You know, we're enjoying what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I feel good about this.
Yeah.
It's kind of given me a little bit of a spark
Right.
right now, because it comes up to, like, today we got to like 5:30 and I said to you, like, any plans for today? What are we going to do? And you're like, yeah, just chatting. I'm like, okay, fancy, you know, a little bit of Overwatch in there. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
I'm thoroughly enjoying it, rather than the stress of before, like, oh, okay, we're going to be playing this game on this day and this game on that day, and
Yes.
oh, we've got to set up, like,
Yeah.
I'm just letting it all go.
Yeah, because to me, everything we've done up until this point, up until the end of 2019, ever since we started streaming in 2017, has always been really game-centered. And, like, everything we did on the stream revolved around a game. As you say, when we planned a week, it was, what game are we going to be playing on Monday? What game are we going to play on Wednesday? What game are we going to play on Saturday? Everything was what game? What game do we play to get viewers? What game do we play to do this? You know, it was game.
Yep.
And sure, we're gamers, but it gets to the point where you enjoy a certain type of game, I enjoy another type of game, and sure, we overlap in a lot of them, but especially since we're doing a project like this that eats up a lot of our free time, if you already have that and you have less time to play your games, you're gonna want to play the games that you like the most. And for me, the games I like the most are the games that are usually single player, are the games that have story. You know, you just sit there, like strategy games as well, like, you know, the Frostpunks, the Annos, even the EU4s. You know, I really like those games above all else. And I will play the FPSs, I will play the online, I will play the World of Tanks. But as a team, much better. That's when I will play those games. In fact, I will play the FPSs when they're a story. Like, I played Metro Exodus, and I really enjoyed it. Back at the end of the last year when I was sick, I got it and I played through it, and it was amazing. And it was FPS. You know, you have to sit there and shoot and reload and all that shit. You know, it's not so much the genre. It's either whether it's online, PvP, or single player sort of story centered. I don't have a problem with genre where it's third person, first person, medieval, guns, or RPG sort of point and click. I don't care. But that's what I'm trying to say. When you have less time, you have to prioritize the time you have left with the things you enjoy the most. And if because
you don't have a lot of time to do anything.
Exactly. So
you might as well do it doing something you enjoy.
Exactly.
Do it. Yeah, you get you.
So
my mouth's not working anymore.
Yeah, so I'm really glad that we're doing that for the stream, because that's taken like a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of weight, but last year I was really I've struggled a lot with a lot of the games we've played on stream, because a lot of them weren't the games that I would play. In fact, you've seen it off streams. I would never play DB because I accepted that was a game. And I'm really thankful for that game and the community we got out of it that are still with us to this day. But personally, that wasn't a game that I enjoy. And what do I do in those situations? I find coping mechanisms. And to me, that was, for example, playing one character or two that are healers. That is my coping mechanism. Because I don't have to worry about anything else. I just focus on my healing, and that gets me through the 4 hours. You know? Kind of like Overwatch. That is my coping mechanism. I try to play, like, I enjoy the game, I really enjoy when we play, but as you know, these PvP games, they're not always turning out like you want them to. Sometimes the matches are bad, sometimes the teams are bad, sometimes your own team is bad, then they don't perform as they should to counter the enemy team, which is much better trained, so to speak, you know, especially when you're doing like 6v6s. Your team just isn't up to par with the other one. So, like, getting through that frustration builds up, you know, and when you play that game for 4 hours straight, you're bound to get matches like that. You're bound to fail, you know, and especially if you're, sometimes it's bad weeks, you know, sometimes it's something that carries over. Sometimes it's bad times for the game because, I don't know, there's a free weekend or certain players play at a certain time. It's like World of Tanks. You never know what matches you're gonna get, you know. And it's like a game we played for the stream because literally we had nothing else to play. And at times, like, if I hadn't been streaming, I wouldn't be sitting there playing Overwatch. So I had to cope. I had to find a way to cope. And that is why I usually tend to play like 1 or 2 characters that I can kind of muscle memory a little bit or feel comfortable with.
That's one way of doing it.
Yeah. So basically, that is what I wanted to sort of get through in this episode today of why I don't really play these games off stream. And it's basically time management and prioritizing that which you enjoy the most. And I really enjoy playing Mercy. I really enjoy the game Overwatch when we play with you guys. But unfortunately, it's not good enough. You know, I don't put in the time to become better, and I don't put in the time to play at a high level. So, and that's something that I won't be able to do, you know, which is unfortunate, you know, like if this had happened 3 years ago, hell, yeah. I tried, you know, like I would sit there and try to get my aim better.
You're getting too old for this.
I know, what's going on, Booker? Like all this growing up
you have
shit.
to start playing like grown-up games and stuff now, like
what?
RTS games and
I already do.
U4.
I already do.
Oh right, yeah. In which case, damn.
Yeah. Which is why I'm really grateful that we have this sort of project where we can, share some time, but doing stuff that isn't just a game. And this sort of comes back to what we spoke about in stream today. That one thing we really didn't like there's a ton of stuff we liked about our old days when we were in our MMOs and stuff, and it was, really big social communities and stuff that we led. Sure, there were tons of good people and we hung out with them, but as soon as they left the game, you lose track of them and you never saw them again. To this day, you never lost
sad moments.
You lose your contact, and that's something I've always feared. Like, what if one day Booker or Cell or something just decide they don't want to play the game that we're playing right now and I lose contact with them? That fear is gone because we have a project that doesn't rely on a game. So I know that we'll always have this to sort of work on.
And that's why the Discord for us is like such a big thing.
Yes, it's like a hub.
It's the place that we all hang out. It's the game that we all hang out on.
Yes. We've changed MMORPG guilds for Twitch/YouTube project.
Yeah. So much better.
Which is awesome. It's so much more gratifying. And
yeah, it is.
It helps you with your personal development in all areas. So this is funny. I think because we did a video where we were saying like an after hours, I think it was, that we were saying, be careful. This might not be for you. Don't get too invested with social interactions on streams and stuff, because it's very vulnerable and people on the internet are really, really fickle. And now we're saying, yeah, this is one of the best things we've done, and it's so much better than gaming. But take it from the perspective that we're trying to get it through. We're a group of friends that already knew each other before going into this. We didn't meet streaming. I've met people from streaming and they're great, but not to the level of me and Booker and Cell and that sort of stuff. Let's take that with a pinch of salt.
Indeed.
So yeah, that was basically what I wanted to talk about today in the after hours. It was a long time overdue, just in case anyone's curious or whatever. And I will keep repeating it. Really important. It's taken us 2.5 years almost to figure this out. Do what you enjoy. End of.
Oh hell yeah.
Use your time to do what you enjoy doing. That's it. That's what I want to say.
Alright. I'm cool with that. That's what I'm going to be doing this year.
Me too.
Alright, let's get the hell out of here.
Yeah, let's go.
Another stream over. Good job.
Alright, Booker. Catch you tomorrow, man.
Catch you later.